Here we go again. Just occasionally, when we're trawling through the internet and looking for programs to demonstrate, we come across a gem of a program which is really worth a bit of time and a bit of effort putting into it. And the reason for this is we all at home keep some sort of calendar or diary or other, which we can keep track of future events and keep a record of historical events. Many of us maybe write a diary, sit back at the end of the day and fill in what's happened during the course of the day. Plus we need a calendar for future events and what have you, as I've said. But this time when I've been trawling the internet, I found the perfect solution to those the list of things that I've just mentioned, and the basic thing is called InMyDiary. So we'll have a quick look at the program. We'll just type in at the internet where I've been before. It says InMyDiary. So we'll go there and we get the a little link which takes us actually to Mayday Music. Now Mayday Music is one of those places where you may pass it by 100 times. If you're not really interested in music and it comes up, you just close it. But this time just have a look through, and if you've got any hobbies connected with music, publications, recording, musical services, DVD work, artwork, etc., are all some of the things that Kevin and Diane Edwards do. Additionally, they threw together this diary, which is the last link here, InMyDiary, which we'll have a look at. This is a basic overview of it. And there is a short video, about 1.5 minutes long, which really shows you the different menu bits and pieces that are available in the program. However, it doesn't seem to go into depth on what each thing does, which hopefully we're going to try to do today. But first we have to download it, so we'll click on the download page, and there's two versions. There is the self-contained version, which is ideal for keeping on a flash drive or memory stick, and you can move it between multiple computers, same as you would do, I suppose, if you had your little personal diary. You take it with you everywhere. So you could do that if you have a flash drive or memory stick. But the one we're going to look at today is the complete full version, which we shall download. But before I do, just take a look on the right hand panel here where it says donate. InMyDiary, it's free to install, free to use, subject to the license agreement, blah blah blah. And it's just one of those things. It's not very often I say this, but if you decide to download this diary and use it, then it's not going to hurt you to come back and just make a little donation in here. If you go to the post office or your local bookshop to buy a diary for next year, it's going to set you back £2 or £3 for a cheapo diary, or maybe even £10 to £15 for a more expensive diary. This one will last you certainly for the rest of your life if you carry on using it. I've taken the date up to 2214 and it still had place to go. It'll probably go up to the, I don't know what it's going to go up to, but it's going to go a long way. So yeah, if you decide that you want to use this and you think this is really good, it keeps all your information secure, then come back, press the donate button and make a little donation. Right now you need to install it and take a look at it. So we'll click on a new installation or update, and we're going to install it for Windows 7. Windows XP and Vista will also take the same file. So we'll download it for Windows and come up, then will come up a little box saying IMD Setup 291. We'll save the file to my download folder, which has already happened. It happened so quick. It's not a big program. It's not a big program in size. It's big in what it does. So let's have a look. Here it is, IMD Setup 291. That's the one we asked to download. That's the one we've got. So let's double click on it, and we get the usual security warning saying this is a downloaded program. Are you sure you want to do this? Well, yes we do. And of course user account control, God bless him, says do you want to allow the following program from an unknown publisher to make changes to this computer? Well, why not? Let's go for it. And here's a title, InMyDiary. It's a simple installation. We click next. There's the license agreement. a single page license agreement, which is pretty unusual these days, but nonetheless it covers everything that needs to be done. Have a quick read of that. There's no catches or anything like that, it's straightforward. So we'll click next. It will install it on your C drive unless you tell it different. And if you want to put it somewhere else, click on the Browse button and select where you want to install it. Click Next, and it will say it's going to have a folder called InMyDiary, which is a good name for a program called InMyDiary, so we'll leave that. And the rest of the installation is pretty straightforward. There it is, it's finished already. So there we are, that's the end of the installation. You can delete that file if you wish to. And here in the center of the screen we have a new icon called InMyDiary. Now when I click on this, several things will happen. It will start to ask permission to do, well, it won't ask permission, it will just do them, to copy InMyDiary to the user folder. It'll then copy the user codes to the folder. It'll then copy InMyDiary to the user folder, and then it'll make sure you've got a backup in the user folder, which is in there's just a little additional note there that the latest version minimizes to the right hand taskbar, which is this one down here. There we go, click on that, and there's our diary. We can manipulate the size to whatever we want, so if your eyes aren't clever, we can make it pretty much full screen if you want. So play with that, whatever you want to do. Now I'll just run quickly through some of these icons that are at the top of the page. As you can see, we're on Tuesday the 27th, and it's 2014. If we go back, we can move back a year in the diary, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, etc. And we can go forward. There we go, that's back up to today's date. Now this will go forward to, let's have a quick look, just zoom it forward for a number of years to see where we're going to go. There we go, look, 2052. It'd be nice to think I'm still using it in 2052. I certainly probably won't be able to hold a pen because I'll be too old and decrepit by then, but never mind, we'll give it a shot, eh? Right, so here's the diary pages anyway. We can have a look at it as a calendar if we want. There we are, that's 2014 calendar. So you can plan your holidays and all the rest of it using that. The next view is a 2-page, if you will, daily diary. You can go to a weekly diary, so that's Monday to Sunday, or you can go 2 weeks, so Monday to Sunday for the next fortnight. We can search diary notes for contacts, so if you made a little note on something, you know, had an appointment with your whatever nurse or whatever, you can search for it in there. You can change or highlight the date list, which is in here. There's one here noticed by the makers of the program, Wednesday the 22nd of February 2045. Right, we can have a quick look at that, and it says, I can't believe you're still using this, which is yeah, why not? We're still using it. Maybe even our grandchildren will be, who knows. So there we go. Journal entries I'll come to in a moment or two. The last little button here is just changing the colour of the border. Simple as it seems. I'll go through them all. There we are, back to there. I like blue, so we'll stick with blue for the time being. And that is that little row of icons that we see there, so very useful. At the bottom of the page here we have this little turnover flap, which, if they ask me to say what would you like to see different on this program, I'd like to see these little turnover flaps maybe covering the bottom centimetre of the page. They're a bit small, but never mind, that's a minor detail, but they do work. There we go, turn over the page, turn back, and there we go. Now with a diary it's pretty useless unless we've got some entries, so I'm going to perform a little miracle and slap a load of entries in here as quick as a flash. So here we go, and flash. So there we are, the end of the flash. We have some entries in the diary, so we'll just have a look at what we've got here, going back to a week last Monday. and we have my son's exams that he's doing for A-level, plus one or two other little notes which we have on the list. I go to a weekly diary because it's I feel more comfortable with that. Right, let's have a look at the program itself. We'll look at the list in the file menu, save and save as. That you can save the program, can save it now if you wish, just by clicking the button. Will save everything that you've done, all your updates. Save as, we'll give you a copy of it somewhere else, leaving the initial program to one piece. Go to, anniversary dates, etc. Import another copy of InMyDiary and other stuff. Risk OS Risk Operating System Organizers compatible, etc. The bottom one, Print Diary. If I just very quickly scoot through it, and here I've made this Bill Gates's birthday. Well, I'll come on to how that got there in red in a moment or two, but if I do a printout of what we've got here, what we'll see on the printout is this. Let's make that full page, right, and it gives us all the stuff we've got in there, including the one on February 22nd, 2045. Can't believe you're still using this. But it gives you a list of all the input that I've done myself. Obviously other little bits and pieces which go in the diary, which are links. They won't show up on the printout, but that's a typical printout of what you might get. Right, so as you see, Bill Gates' birthday not. Now why isn't in there? If I'm going to shoot ahead and go down here to contacts, it shows me the various contacts list that I have already made. This is like any other contact list. You put in the name, first name, surname, address, postcode. You can put in their birthday if you know it, and the tick in the box here, show in the diary. Well, when I tick that box, that is what this red writing is. It's where I've linked it to this address book. Put the label, put the phone numbers, put the email addresses, etc. And of course the search term as well. So it's a matter of looking at. Have a look at the help guide on that, the user guide. If we go up to here, help, we can look at the help file, which is already automatically imported. As you can see, this is C program files, InMyDiary manual. Right, it doesn't always suit people to use that. So what I've done, I've created a file as a document, which I shall put on the website for you to download and print out. It's 17 pages, but it's exactly the same as the file that you would look at on the computer. But it's sometimes handy to have a printout beside you while you're using it, so you can follow things through. Don't have to use it if you don't want to. It's just one of those things I thought of. So here we go. Let's have a look at the file menu. We've seen down the file menu. Edit. We can do special days, anniversaries. We can do a quick search. We can add notes, and we can go to the password manager. Views. We've already been through the views by virtue of this list that we've got here. Some extra ones at the bottom here. So it's a matter of just clicking on those and seeing what they do. You're not going to damage anything by clicking, that's for sure. In the options menu, we can go to general options, which is quite a long page full of different bits and pieces that we can set up. This features in the little demonstration movie from the website, but default settings are pretty much there. We can go and change the font. If you don't like the font that they use in the diary, you can change it to whatever you want. No restrictions. It's just if you've got this font installed, go with it. Like Devereux, quite enjoy Devereux. I've used that many times in my demonstrations. And you can change labels, you can change anniversary colours and different, so you can have a different font for anniversaries, I mean. So there we are. Help yourself on that one, play around with it and get just what you like. Run through the list. It's a fairly straightforward list, and there is nothing to be scared of in that. So click that in the options list. Setting main passwords and setting journal passwords. Now these I can come to in a moment. To set background highlights we've seen in the view menu, and also set active background highlight, which again is in that view menu. added diaries on the next tab. If you import a diary, you can merge it with the one you've already got. So if you did a reinstall and then made a few entries and think, oh, I haven't put my old one in, it will actually merge the two together quite simply by using the added diaries. The help button is, as it says, it's a help button. Don't be frightened of checking for updates occasionally, because this is work in progress, and Kevin and Diana always seem to be working on it and adding the little features, extra features and what have you. So check for updates, keep it up to date. That's the right. One little, we're going to get really technical now, but it's nice to have this program starting as soon as you start your computer up. It's very simple to do. I'll just move that to one side, and I'll move my icon because I'll need that. Right, the easiest way to do this, if you go to the Start menu and go to All Programs and come down the list until you see a file or a folder called Startup. Whoops, not gone far enough down there. Startup. Right, and as you can see, mine is empty at the moment, but if I hover over the word Startup and right click, we can open, or if you want everybody in the family to use the diary, open all users, but I just click on Open. Right, then I just simply drag, right click, drag and drop and create a shortcut in the Startup folder, and that's as simple as it goes. So next time I look in there, click, go to All Programs, there's Startup, and it now has an InMyDiary link. So when I start my computer again, this will automatically start up and it'll be there for me ready to use. Right, when it does start up, it'll come in the minimized form down on the taskbar there, which if I close that, I can open it up again quite quickly and do the addings. Right, so how easy is it to add stuff to the diary? It's very simple. If I click on Friday in the blank space, it will bring up the window. Friday 30th of May, we shall just put in doctor's appointment. What time? We'll say 10:15. There we go. And it'll usually 10-minute appointment, so it'll be 10:25. That's about it. You can get yourself, if you set up an email address in the program, you can get an email alarm. I find it quite easy just to leave it as the thing, because when I turn my computer on, I get the straightforward message saying, hey, this thing needs doing. Email one day early if you've set up an email. On this side of it is, if you've put somebody's birthday in there and you want it to be an all-day event, if you click the all-day event button there and put a tick in it, I'll have to go back and reset this now, but it's not important anyway this time. So whatever time my appointment, I think my appointment just changed, but never mind. So yeah, if you tick all-day event, any other additions to that date will say that it clashes with the doctor's appointment. So if you've got a doctor's appointment, or if you've got somebody's birthday and it's an all-day event and you put a doctor's appointment in it, the message will come up that it clashes with the all-day event. You can accept it or just do some changes, it's up to you. But I'll leave this fairly straightforward. Doctor's appointment, 10:30 to 10:40. It'll give me 3 days warning, 2 days and a day's warning. So there we are, doctor's appointment. Early warning, Friday 30th of May, 10:30 AM, doctor's appointment. You can tick no more early warnings for this, but otherwise it will come up now. Every time I start the program again, it will come up and remind me, so there's no excuse for forgetting anymore. Right, let's have a look at doctor's appointment. So if we look down the side here, we have a panel called Notes. And the way we get a note is if we have this doctor's appointment and I click on it, oh dear, double click on it, in the main box where you've set up your doctor's appointment, you have a note link, and you can put that doctor's appointment. Okay, so say okay to that. Now in the notes, click doctor's appointment. we can add to that. Don't forget the prescription list and a sample, whatever. Yeah, then this is just to help you remember these things. So we go back to the diary. We've now got doctor's appointment with a note beside it. Bump, there it is. Don't forget that. That's great. Another little thing that we can do with this diary is if, and the way it's written up is quite funny on the website. So if I click on there, it says here there's no journal entry for this date. Do you want to create one? Well, yes, I will create a journal for this date. I will write in here doctor says I should take things easy. Have a holiday and send the bill to the NHS. Right, so we'll do that. We'll have a holiday. Now if you look at the date here, we've got the doctor's appointment 10:30. We have notes, don't forget to take the stuff, but also we have here a J in the box. Now if we click on there, that will bring us to our journal, which is great until the boss finds it. If you've written something about your boss in there, saying my boss is a big ogre and he should give me his wages because why not, I do most of his job most of the time, and you write that in your diary, the last person you really want to see that is your boss. So what we can do is we go to our options and we can set a journal password. Right, so we can something simple, let me in, type it again, let me in, and there it is. So when I want to go in there, I now have to put the password in, which gives it that little bit of security. On the word of passwords, we can actually add a password for the entire diary. So we'll change the main password to, I'll do something really unique and call it password. Password. Okay, there we go. Right, so when I close the program and then open it again, oh, I've got to enter a password. It flashes once just to tell us it's loaded, and there it is down on the taskbar. So that's the way the passwords work. Now if you struggle with passwords, I mean, I've made those so easy, password being password, you don't really want that. So if we click on passwords here, it gives us a choice. Sorry, I think I've come to the wrong area. Right, so on passwords, we can actually go to options, and password generation options are very clever. Now if you want just a normal 8-digit password, we'll change that to 8. We want uppercase, lowercase and digits, which a lot of places are asking for. We can ask for an example, and there is an example of this password which is just generated. Another little addition to this would be a little button saying copy to clipboard, so that you can paste it in somewhere to keep it as a memory. Let's just have a look. If we change that just for argument's sake to 32, and we do everything and ask for an example, I mean, how difficult would that password be to crack? You'd never do it in a month of Sundays, because the chances are there's got to be billions and billions, if not trillions to one, to actually be able to work that out without any knowledge at all. However, we're not that clever, so we're just going to go back to it. We're going to go back to 8-digit passwords. Again though, using all the characters, we still get quite a unique password there. Something simple. That must have a billion different ways of cracking it. I think the default's 15, so we'll leave it at that. And you can copy that, press Ctrl+C to copy, and you could use that as one of your passwords. Remember, make a note of it somewhere where you can keep it and use it if you wish. Right, so that's the options. Added diaries, as I said before, if you save as and do a reinstall on the computer or whatever, or update it, and you forget to bring in your old diary, you can actually open an added diary there. So import InMyDiary file, and that will show up in the added diaries file. This is a very brief overview of this program. It is so clever. It's just one of these programs that once you start using it, I think you become addicted to it and want to use it all the time. But this will be available on YouTube, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and that way you get an early notice of all the demonstrations that I do. It will be available on the website as a demonstration as usual, but it will also be linked into YouTube, because if you click on the link for the website, it's going to take 2 or 3 minutes just to download it onto your computer, and then you'll be able to view it. Whereas if you go on the internet and view it through YouTube, you'll be able to see it more or less instantly without having to wait for it to download. Enjoy the program, and as I say, if you do get used to using the program and you like it a lot, don't be frightened to click in the donate button and send some money to the producers of this software. It's well worth it, and not only is it useful, it's also fun to use. Thank you for listening to the demonstration, and there'll be more hopefully in the near future.